All right, everybody, get ready. Because today we are diving deep into something really interesting happening over in the Solana DeFi world.
Definitely a lot of buzz around this one.
The stable token airdrop.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I'm looking at some of the info you sent over, and this looks like it could be huge for anyone who's, already in the Solana DeFi space or thinking about getting in.
I think so too. And, maybe the best place to start is just to clarify for anyone who isn't familiar what Stable is.
Yeah, good idea.
Basically, it's a decentralized exchange, or DX for short.
Okay.
Which essentially means it lets you trade cryptocurrencies directly with other people without having to go through a centralized exchange.
So like cutting out the middleman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Stable's built on the Solana blockchain, which is known for its speed and low transaction fees.
Right. And looking at their stats, it seems like they're doing pretty well for themselves.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely gaining traction.
623,000 daily active users.
Wow.
Peak daily volume of $614 million. And they're talking about potential yields up to 200% APY.
Yeah. Those are some pretty impressive numbers.
Those aren't just numbers, though.
Yeah.
That really shows that people are finding real value in what Stable is offering.
Absolutely. And it speaks to the fact that the DeFi space on Solana is really heating up.
Totally. So with all that said, let's get to the heart of the matter. This token generation event, or as the cool kids call it, TGE, happening on February 27th.
Coming up quick.
So in layman's terms, this is basically when Stable launches its own token, right?
Precisely. Yep. February 27th, STB, that's their token, goes live on the market.
Okay.
And this is also when Season 1 of their airdrop program wraps up and Season 2 begins. So anyone who wants to get their hands on some STB before the rules change better act fast.
So time is of the essence here.
It is.
Now, you mentioned a few different ways to be eligible for this airdrop. Can we break those down for us?
Absolutely. So there are a few different ways to get in on this.
Okay.
You can become a liquidity provider.
Okay.
You can just be an active trader on the platform, or you can refer your friends.
Oh, and the classic refer a friend.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard playbook at this point, but it's interesting to see them incentivizing community growth alongside actual usage of the platform.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the referral system in particular, I found that quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You want to talk a bit more about how that works?
Yeah, so basically, for every friend you refer, you get points.
Okay.
And those points translate into a bigger share of the airdrop when it finally drops.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
What's the catch?
The whole system resets when the TGE happens.
So the clock is ticking.
Big time.
Yeah.
So it's a limited time opportunity to really rack up those points and potentially boost your rewards.
So you basically want to jump on that ASAP if you're interested.
Yeah, the earlier the better, for sure.
And speaking of maximizing gains, I got to ask about this pool of the week thing I saw.
Oh, yeah. The USDC JUP pair.
With a whopping 46.04% APY.
Yeah, that one's turning heads, for sure.
What's the deal with that?
Well, a couple things. First of all, it's focused on capital efficiency, which means you can earn high returns without having to lock up as much liquidity.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty appealing for a lot of people.
So how does that work? What makes it more capital efficient than other pools?
Well, they use some pretty clever mechanisms within the Stable platform to optimize how those assets are used so they can generate higher yields with less capital actually locked in.
Okay, so it's like squeezing more juice out of the orange.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So just to kind of sum everything up here.
Sure.
We've got this DEX making waves on Solana.
Yep.
They're about to launch their own token. And they're giving people a limited time chance to get a piece of the pie through this airdrop.
That's right.
It's pretty exciting stuff.
It is. And it's not just about getting free tokens. Stable's growth in this TGE, they raise some pretty interesting questions about where they're headed in the long term.
Yeah. Where do you think they're going with this?
Well, can they keep up this momentum? What kind of challenges are they going to face? Could they actually become like a dominant player in the Solana DeFi ecosystem?
Big questions, for sure.
Definitely things to think about.
Well, we've laid out the basics here, but obviously everyone needs to do their own research and make their own decisions.
Absolutely.
See if Stable fits their investment goals and, their risk tolerance and all that good stuff.
Couldn't agree more. We've given you a good place to start, but the more you dig into the details, the better equipped you'll be to navigate this whole DeFi space.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe Stable will be the next big case study in how a DX can shake things up in an entire ecosystem.
It's certainly possible. We'll have to wait and see.
Definitely a story worth following.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this deep dive on Stable.
And as always, do your own research.
And we'll catch you next time.
See ya.